Oh, hello.
Oh, hi, 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 hi. Welcome to Call You in 5 Minutes.
This is Call You in 5 Minutes.
Yeah, I'm Rachel. Um, and this is Sarah.
And I'm Sarah. And
That's Sarah.
uh, what do you need to know about us? Nothing.
Nothing. You actually don't need to know anything about us other than we are heavily obsessed with fantasy novels
And a lot of other random stuff.
and a lot of other random things. Also, I think you're the funniest person.
I
That's
think
all I have.
person. So put the two together. The funniest combo alive.
You put your hands together, you got yourselves something special. Um, so why are we talking? Well, we talk all the time. You and I.
Well, and ideally, we'll talk even more now.
That's the hope. Yeah. We don't wait too long in between talking. Now we get to just chat all the time. Press record so I can listen to it when I'm in the old age home with you. I'm
Yeah,
very
it's going to
excited.
be scheduled and recorded. Beyond that,
It
we'll see what happens.
literally, there's no expectation. The expectation is we chat. But I do love this setup, so I need you to get this. Whatever this headphone microphone.
Headphones corded.
The headphone is corded.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Send me the
you
link.
sh yeah, you should grab some.
Oh,
Do you not have headphones? Do you have headphones like
well,
these?
I have AirPods, but
Mm.
also I'm rocking a ruptured eardrum. I can't be putting stuff in that ear right now.
No, you need these. You need these babies. Lay on top of the ears.
That's true.
You need that. Okay, perfect. So just so you know, when you get this microphone, you're gonna feel like you should be a recording artist. That's what you feel like when you get it.
What
Sorry, it's
happens?
gonna drop a beat.
This escalates to recording a studio album
Based on Twilight,
based on everything. Just
based on everything.
us releasing a musical album because we said, well, we had the equipment. What were we waiting for?
All we needed was the equipment. That's all we needed. That's definitely
Talking, I was thinking in an ideal world, people listen to us and they feel like we're just two best friends talking. They're our third best friend that's also listening. And
if we
also,
get one listener,
if we get one listener and they actually listen to this and enjoy the conversation, that's our best friend.
that's our
Because
third best friend.
if they can
I
listen
love
to this for any amount of time, that's our best friend.
it. They can they sticking around, listen to the first episode and continue to listen. You are now in the inner circle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And currently the inner circle is two. So
So it's a
you'll be the
line.
first in line to be our third best friend.
Boom.
So,
The
as
triangle.
you said, Brittany Broski, we feel, is already the third.
She's our third because we listen to her so much.
Yeah, we listen to her and we're like, that's our third best friend because she's just like us. We're just like her.
Yeah.
So now we're doing a trickle down effect, multi level marketing scheme. You listen to us, we'll report it back up the chain.
Hey, it's all above board.
Yeah, so this is gonna be like selling Avon, except for instead of actually selling anything, you're just listening to us talk about other podcasts and books. Why
Yes.
read a book yourself when you can listen to us? We're gonna do full spoilers,
Oh
tell you
yes.
everything you need to know. Also, all the takeaways you need from the book. You could be on the street and say, I know everything about that book. I can tell you anything about that book because of the podcast I listen to. I don't even need to read it myself. We'll give you all the information you need. Same goes for our podcast. That's what we do for each other. Unless I give you a book and I'm like, you need to read it, I won't spoil it for you.
No, I will ask you not to spoil something, but once we've read them, just yeah, this should be definitely a disclaimer. Spoilers, spoiler for all books and all,
We're
all
not
other things.
so yeah, I won't spoil it for Rachel if she hasn't read it, but if you're listening to this and you haven't read something and you're planning on reading it, it will be spoiled.
Yeah.
I don't care so much for spoilers. I'm not a big fan of like fan theories, but I
Mhm.
don't care that much about spoilers unless it's like, yeah, if I'm reading ACOTAR for the first time, I don't want spoilers. Like I think
Yeah.
it would be really hard reading A Court of Thorns and Roses for the
Spoiler coming in.
first time and being like, where's Rhysand? And it's like that because then you're obviously like not invested in Tamlin at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah. Spoiler disclaimers coming in here. This is full spoilers now for ACOTAR, Twilight, Throne of Glass, Crescent City, also uh Blood and Ash, One Dark Window, Fourth Wing, like literally all the book talk bookstagram girlies. By the way, I don't have TikTok, but that's what I know people say. Oh
Either way,
man.
we've read all the popular ones.
Yeah.
I've definitely read like almost every book I see recommended on Book Talk has been consumed.
Yeah,
Very.
you were further ahead than me for sure on all of those books.
But again, I'm
But
making sure as I go through, I say this one's legit, this one not no rush to get to that one. That one's for when you got
yeah.
nothing else to read.
When you finish that series, I got something to just, waste some time with.
Yeah, if you're just looking for something fun in between,
Oh
then
yeah.
I'll say, sure, go ahead. But there's other ones where I'm like, you must read this now, and it cannot wait.
Not a single second can go by.
That's how I got you to read ACOTAR. I said, this can no longer wait. I need you on this train because I'm riding this train straight to hell, and I'm not going alone.
Oh, this train? You're coming with me, bitch.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be out here reading smut, giggling, kicking my feet, laughing, crying in my bed, I need you involved. Like, no one else. I mean, like, yes, my mom and my grandma have read those books. Can I dish with them about it? No, obviously not. I'm not dishing with my mom about the ins and outs of ACOTAR.
That wingspan.
No.
No, we're
So
not
I
dishing
had
with
to
mom
take
on that.
board with me, and you're totally caught up. In the past year, you've gone
Yes.
through ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City, and Blood and Ash, and Light in the Flame series. Thankfully. I'm so proud of you for catching up.
Yeah, I had less than a year to catch up. I had since I think you recommended to me early last year. I got it and then I didn't
Yeah.
start it until March.
I think you might have gotten ACOTAR as like the whole series as like a Christmas gift. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
You're like,
Here.
girl, you're like, girl, get started. And I went, okay, yeah, just give me a second. I need to finish another book, which took me 2 months to finish. And then come March, I started ACOTAR, and let's say it has not been the same ever since.
No, like we said, and this is one of the topics we're going to get to, is it was a revolution for myself and also for you. And for I think a lot of people, it just rekindled that love of reading spirit.
It rekindled the magic of reading. I
It
think that's what it was. It was, and for our Twilight girlies slash whoever reads Twilight, I mean, everyone should. That's just a recommendation. But when we were talking, we were saying, hey, Twilight, read that when it first came out? Sure did. And I was enthralled. I couldn't put it down. I was in love. I was sick with love. It was disgusting, but so good.
yeah, and yeah, a new moon was the first time that I was like sitting in bed weeping over a book. Like that, like I said, the scene where Bella's heading to Italy and Jacob says, "Don't go." I was just weeping, weeping in as a little, whatever, 13-year-old girl, just like, "Don't go, Bella." This is the right call.
My
I
God.
still feel that to this day. I mean, was it the right call? Ultimately, the books would say yes. But in the moment, it really does not seem like the right call.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. It was the first time I really felt heartbreak, obviously, because I was so young.
Yeah, of
That
course. Of course, I had not been in the situation where my one boyfriend is about to kill himself because he thinks I'm dead. A true Romeo and Juliet
yeah,
situation.
true romance
Other boyfriend doesn't want you to go to Italy.
because he's a healthy boy and wants you to stick around and staying
That's,
healthy as a
that's the
human.
hard part about watching Twilight back is it's like Jacob is a good boy. I mean, in Eclipse, it starts getting a lot murkier on his
Yes.
goodness. And then in
Yes.
Breaking Dawn, it's like, what the fuck?
You are being annoying.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. To be said, I am a Jacob fan, but I obviously am Team Edward for Bella. Like, let's make that
Yeah,
clear.
I am Team Edward for Bella. I don't
Yeah.
think she should have let Edward die. It's just really hard when you're watching New Moon and she's been like completely depressed. So like scary depressed.
Yes. This
And
is not something that anyone should strive for.
no. This is like, wow, that's real. Like Charlie gets to the point where he's like, that's it, and you know that's real.
Yeah. When
You
dad says, I can't do this
you were
anymore, you
in
gotta
Charlie's
go.
spot, you'd say, yeah, that's fucking real.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jacob's the only thing that pulls her out of it. I don't know, man.
I
And it's
know.
like that is what teen romance is supposed to be. Like when you're a teen, you obviously idolize that. Like, I can't
I
live with
can't.
you.
Oh my God. It's like the most romantic thing. It's because all of our hormones are flying around, just like heightened beyond belief. That feeling of literally it's life or death is like, oh, just, yeah, like it's the dream at that time. I'm not saying that's a healthy thing to do, but it's the dream at the time. I was like, I'm fully invested.
But then on the flip side, when you look at the romances in ACOTAR, it's totally the opposite. Tamlin's the one who's like, I can't live without you. I can't risk you dying. I can't risk you at all. Locks her away, won't let her do what she wants. And Rhysand is the one who's like, you can do whatever you want. I'll just be here to support you and do whatever, which I would say neither of the men in Twilight are that
Yeah,
level.
no, no. And that's where we go from teen fantasy to adult fantasy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, in this aspect. There's a lot of other aspects that make it
A lot. A lot that really got the blood boiling. I was like,
aspect people are somewhat more mature. They're also 500 years old, although Edward is 100 years old, so like
let's, yeah.
still 500 years is where you really hit maturity.
Yeah,
And
hitting that, yeah.
so that is great. I mean, Fair is still only 19, which
Yes.
bump up those numbers, you know.
Okay, yeah. I honestly do have a complaint for the fantasy writing adult people, authors out there.
Make them out.
Um, can they please make the women like 26 at least? Like, I want like a woman to be here, not a teenager. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love these books. I am obsessed with them. I never
I
stop
I
thinking
am
about them.
obsessed. It is just getting harder and harder to relate to a 19-year-old who then turns out to be capable of so much. It just, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously we're not in the world of realism, but like, why can't, here's the other thing. Their sexual experience. If the author is like, oh, they've had some experience,
Mhm.
they're like, oh, I've been with one guy a couple of times.
Yeah.
They're never like, this girl's been with multiple people.
Yeah.
Like,
Except in a couple books. There's a couple.
I guess,
Serafina.
no, she hasn't.
Serafina? Yeah, she went to the like place where everybody's having sex all the time.
But she didn't do
Remember?
it there.
Yeah, she did. She totally did. Like, I'm saying, like, she went to those places for those like years that she was like no longer gonna
You are
be
right. You're right.
Collis's wife. So she had like a couple of years, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 years where she was like, I'm
Right.
gonna just have sex.
You are correct.
I mean, there's
Well,
not many though.
and also Jennifer L. Armentrout is, I mean, Sarah J. Maas is, the GOAT. But Jennifer L. Armentrout, man, she is doing it for the girls.
He is, praise be to Jennifer L. Armentrout. Love her, love her, love her, love her, love her. Just quickly heading back to Twilight. Twilight was the sexual awakening of like, I am definitely feeling feelings in my loins, I
But it was
guess we would
also
say.
innocent in the fact that, like, you get through 3 books and Bella's been burning alive with
Oh
me.
man.
And you feel it too. Obviously, the girls reading it feel it too. And you don't get nothing until book 3, 4.
No, no, no. Book 3 was when she asked for it, and then
That
embarrassment.
moment too, tears in the eyes. That moment where she tries to take off her clothes and he says no.
Oh, oh, oh man.
Also,
Ay, ay, ay.
also then like he chose like that night to propose or
Oh my God.
right around there to propose. I'm just like,
No, he did. He proposed that same night.
yeah,
He
like,
proposed the night she was like, I'm gonna want to get busy with this boy. And then he was like, no,
and that
put
is
your
when
clothes on. Oh my God. Just,
the Stephanie Meyer Mormonism aspect really shows.
yeah. Really, really showed up on the on that book.
Man. And also then she gets pregnant like right away, right
Oh
after,
my God. Come on.
which is
Like,
just,
come on.
but ultimately, even though there is very little description of actual activities, you're burning. You're burning.
Oh, that's the thing. That's the thing. When a writer can literally create the story and I feel sexually charged and nothing is actually really happening except maybe like a kiss or a touch. Everyone always talks about that like hand flex in the oh my God, Pride and Prejudice. He flexes his
Mm.
hand. Like that kind, or you're like the tension is so high and you're like, I'm gunning to go. Like where's the action? I'm ready. But no triggers being pulled. Everyone's just like, oh man, it is like tight. It's like a tight little string ready to go. But no, you gotta wait you gotta wait 4 books until you can get a little spice. That a little sizzle. Oh, I can feel my body just tighten right up.
That is stuff.
that,
Okay.
that is good writing. um Twilight was the beginning to
And this
the end.
and
It was, yeah, it's that thing where you read it, you're completely like, just your world has been shattered and you are sexually hyper aware of now you're but like also for monsters and like morally gray men, which is just like so exciting to read. But then after Twilight, you go to school and you go to university and you read self-help books. And you're like, oh man, I'm an adult. Look at me go. Boom. ACOTAR shows up 10 years later. No, 15 years later. A
yeah.
long time later. And it just reignites that absolute burning, like pulsating desire, but also just like the emotional like roller coaster that I truly feel. I'm crying, I'm laughing, I'm giggling, I'm like squealing, I'm screaming. I just like what? Like that's where yeah, I'm just like, oh man, these adult fantasy books. I'm loving this revival or whatever it is. I don't feel like this was a revival because I don't feel like they were ever there, but it's because we've grown up now and they're like, oh yeah, these these kids that read Twilight, they'd probably love a
Well,
fairy, a
I also just
vampire, a
feel
wolf.
AJ Mass is, I think, like a once in a generation talent. Like no one can step to her. I think that these books are universal across so many people. And like you can see TikToks online of like even men reading them, and like while they may not be as invested in certain sections, they will
They should be.
send
They
the book.
should be.
And like I've also mentioned, like my mom reads these books, my grandmother reads these books. Like from us, I'm sure teens are loving it, and my 75-year-old grandmother's loving it. Like I think anyone can love these books. And I also saw a quote the other day that I was like, that is so true, because I've been feeling for a while like this, like getting into this reading again. I'm like, books are better than TV. Like it's actually reduced my interest in television because I'm like,
Yeah.
this is so much better. I'm getting so much more out of this.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And like when you're watching TV or like a movie, you're a voyeur. But when you're reading a book, you get to like know your character like from the inside. So you're like experiencing it like totally from inside their perspective.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like a lot of the time for me when I read these books is I like feel like I've become that character just because you are inside them and you're just living in that world. You're like, I am this character. And so you just feel so much more invested. And the imagination and like of the world building, I love it. It's just like pulls you right into such a cool place. And then with like TV, and I also feel the same. TV, I've lost interest.
It's
Like there's some things I'll
not,
watch, of course.
yeah,
I'm not
but it's not doing
celibate,
it.
but
It's not doing,
it's
it's not doing that.
it's not doing it. It's not doing it. I'll watch like, yeah, I'll watch shows and I'm like, oh, that's fun. But I read a book and I'm like, I feel sick. I will feel physically ill. I'll be crying. I mean, you know, I'll be unwell until I get to that ending. And if the ending's a freaking cliffhanger,
Oh my God.
I
At
will,
at Fourth Wing.
yeah, at Iron Flame. I will die. It'll take
I
me
think that that's the
a
thing
while.
so hard sometimes is like the book hangover of like, wait, I've been living this life as, you know, someone who's been swept into this fairy world and like living this insane life, and
Yeah.
now it's over. I
Ugh,
yeah,
I know
this has been the last 3 weeks of my life. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because that's like sometimes when you're reading, it's like this is all I can think about all day long.
it
This is
is.
all I'm thinking about. Not thinking about anything else. I'm thinking about my book and when I can get back to that book, because that's my real life now.
That's my new reality, and that's where I'd like to stay. Um, I'm 100% with you. I there during the ACOTAR Throne of Glass Crescent City read through that I did this last year. I literally couldn't think of anything else. I was like, oh, I might be psychologically not doing good because I can't think of anything else. I will be like working and just want to read. I'll be working out. I'm like, oh my God, all I can think of is theories or what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Completely takes over. Completely
Yeah,
takes over.
takes over. And there are definitely times where I've been like, am I avoiding my real life?
Yes. 100 I am.
When given the option, I'd rather be there. I'd rather be there.
Why wouldn't I rather be in this crazy like world with magic and very hot men who
Yeah.
want to
And
slay
you
me?
just like walk down the street and a gorgeous fairy man walks up to you and says, like, you're my mate, and I am irrevocably in love with you.
Oh,
And I'll be obsessed with you forever.
I'm here to serve you, girl. That's what he's saying. I'm here to serve you, whatever you want. Literally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, thanks to our one listener, if we have one. If not, thanks for
You're out
listening.
there, you're a new best friend. So
Yeah, new best friend. Thank you. And I love you.
I love you. I'll call
I'll
you.
call you in 5 minutes. Bye.